What is going on, Brookie Nation? What's poppin', y'all?
Hey!
Hope everyone's doing good. Doing well.
Welcome to the
I
show.
speak English,
We're
I think.
here. Welcome to Storybrooke Circus.
Yeah, welcome everybody. In case you're here for the first time, this is Storybrooke Circus. My name is Mackie
Once
Mouse.
Upon a Time podcast.
Oh, a Once Upon a Time podcast.
My name is Isla.
Oh boy, this is a great start. People are like, "Oh, I quit." They're shutting it off right now.
Okay. Well, if you stayed, hey.
If you stayed, we are actually this cool. This is not an act. We don't have any idea what we're gonna do when we turn this microphone on. We just kind of roll with it. If you like Once Upon a Time, the ABC Emmy award-winning television show, then you're in the right place. Storybrooke Circus is the place where we review every episode one at a time. We are on season 2, which is very exciting. Season 2, episode 3 specifically. So yeah, we're done with the season 1 curse. Will they, won't they break it? We're heavy into the good stuff. Well, we are light into the good stuff. We're about to be heavy into the good stuff starting next episode. But first, we would like to take a little pause and say hello to our YouTube brookies. What's going on, peeps?
Hi, YouTube.
We do a little video taping of the first part of the show in case you want to see our lovely faces while we yammer on about whatever the hell we're going to talk about. And also, we wanted to take a moment before we continue to remind everyone about our Snapchat filter. We have an exclusive Storybrooke Circus Snapchat filter. If you search the price of gold, then you will get a very fun face tattoo treat. So we encourage you to go on Snapchat and find it and use it and then put it on various social media and tag us at
Share it
the
with your
SBC
friends.
pod.
Share it with your enemies. We want it everywhere.
We do. We are wanting world domination.
Yeah.
That is our goal here. So world domination through podcasting. I'm sure that's what every podcaster wants. Anyway, how are you doing? How is it going, Isla? How is life?
Good. I'm having a pretty chill week. No, surprisingly, it's not raining.
I feel like it's always raining.
But, never
Don't
hold your breath because it might.
It might. Before we finish taping this episode, which now is being taped over 2 days, who knows what tomorrow will bring.
Exactly. Who knows? But that's fine. It's really humid and hot, which
Humid
I'm
and
preaching
hot.
to the choir as you live in humid and hot.
True.
But it's just weird to wake up and I think I've said this before, but I check the weather of both Orlando, Florida and where I live for funsies every morning.
Sure, yeah.
And it's been the same for the past couple days, which it has in the past, but it's like same humidity, same UV index, same temperature,
Wow.
just grossness.
Is that common this time of year, I guess, like towards the end of the summer?
It was not, but then this little thing came along called climate change.
Yeah, global
now,
warming.
Now it is.
But at least it's better than you being in a sweater and it being rainy. And
It's better than snow. I will take anything over snow. I don't complain about the heat.
Yeah, I don't mind myself. I think that snow is fun to play in. It's not fun for your everyday life. Like most things. Like, yeah, there's places that are really fun to vacation, but not to live in.
Right.
I don't want snow all the time, but like I love a good snowboarding trip on like a mountain. Like I'm not against snow then. That's fine.
Like I love looking at snow on Christmas morning or like looking out or driving on a back road where it's like that beautiful, the snow's on all the branches. Love that. I love skiing, sledding.
I don't think anyone hates snow. I think they hate the aftermath of snow.
If I have to clean it, if I have to shovel, I don't pick up a shovel.
Honestly,
I have a husband. I have a great husband who does all of that for me, and I'm really thankful for him. And women can do anything, but sometimes they don't have to, and that is one of those things.
I think that like unlike rain, like if it's actively snowing, it's not really bothering you. Like unless it's a blizzard, and even then it's just like windy and like the cold bothers you more than the actual snow does. Like rain sucks. Like being wet, like even in Florida, like just getting dripped on like one too many times, like ugh, I want to go inside. Like whereas in snow it's fine. It's like it's not really the snow that's the problem, it's what it all leaves behind. And like you're like you said, like shoveling, having to ice off your car. Ugh. Like it's just
scrape your car.
Gee, and then like you
fresh out of high school, I worked at Rite Aid for a while.
Sure.
And I lived like 2 minutes from Rite Aid. Like real, you could see it basically.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever it would blizzard, Rite Aid obviously didn't close because it's like a very essential store. Back in the day, true essential stores stayed open only during blizzards because it was a pharmacy, stuff like that. My manager would call me and they'd be like, "Can you come in?" And I'd be like, "There's 6 feet of snow outside." No, I can't. I can't get my car out. And I would lie because why would I want to go to work in a blizzard? I don't.
Seriously.
They would go, "So walk."
Excuse me?
Oh, yeah. I would have to walk.
In a blizzard? Like during the blizzard?
Or they would offer to pick me up.
Oh my God. Okay.
And I'm like,
ridiculous.
I was doing this for $7.50 an hour. I think about that now and hate everything, every part of my body.
God, dude, I wouldn't draw you a picture on a piece of paper in my bedroom for $7.50 an hour.
Now I think about it and I'm like, no.
I wouldn't draw stick figures on a piece of loose leaf for you for $7.50. I would make. I wouldn't respond to the text for $7.50. Like. Oh man, yeah, the woes of the yesteryears. Couldn't text. We couldn't. Well, were you pre-text? Were you pre? Probably weren't. Were you?
When I got into middle school, I had a track phone where you had to like press 3 buttons to get to the letter C.
Oh, okay. Like, so texting, but not like in its current.
But you had to like pay for it. Like you had to get minutes.
Oh my God, dude! The paying for text, and it was per. It was like 10 cents a text or something.
Yes.
I think about how I text now. Like I text like 3 words per line and send just for like effect.
I send like 20 text messages to get 1 point across.
Like,
and then another 20 to correct everything that I spelled incorrectly.
I would be 100% broke. Oh my God. What? Sorry. Enterprise just called me. I have to.
Oh.
All right, we'll deal with that later. So yeah, I was around pre-text able cell phones.
Wow.
Like blocked, so like Zach Morris in Saved by the Bell, like that phone. Yeah.
The only thing I remember that I couldn't do on like my little track phone was if you hit the internet button.
Oh God, yeah.
You're like aggressive. No. My parents are gonna kill me. No. That's the only thing that I really remember.
Yeah,
paying for text messages.
I remember like ringtones, like there was a store and you had to go and like purchase very specific ringtones. And
or like making your voicemail.
Yeah, like like a song. Oh yeah.
I know someone. Me. Who recorded the entirety of the Best of Both Worlds chorus by Hannah Montana as my voicemail.
Atta girl.
And then was like, "Hey, this is Isla. Like, leave a message." And my dad had to call me for something once, and he was so fucking mad at me because he had to listen to that whole thing before he could leave me a voicemail.
That's amazing.
He was like, "Isla, if you do not change that, like, this is absurd."
I love that. That's my friends. We used to do like fake ones. Where we'd have full on conversations.
Oh my God. Yeah.
One of my friends in the group was like, "Hey, oh yeah,
oh yeah, no.
Wait, so what do you need?"
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Oh my God.
This is my voicemail.
The worst.
I hate
like,
you.
why were we like that?
Some people still have those.
Oh my God, get out of here. I want to know who still has a custom voicemail.
Do you know what else people still have? Please wait for your party to be reached and listen to this Verizon ringback.
Excuse me? Ringback tones? Get out of here.
When I was making calls for work, like when you have to make outbound calls, sometimes it would pick up and it would be like, "Please enjoy this Verizon ringback tone while your party is reached." And I was like, it's not going to be the classical music. No way. And then it was every time.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's embarrassing.
Like, is that a monthly charge? Like, does that show up on their phone bill every month?
I think so. Well, at least it used to be like a premium service of some kind that you'd put on. But they might have changed that since then. Like, I think they might have like made it a part of the normal thing now.
Yeah.
I'd like to just give a status update to Enterprise calling me, because it's worth the shout out here. Okay.
Okay.
Let's catch everybody up. I don't mean to change the subject, but it literally just happened. Breaking news. Well, we need a breaking news sound. That's what we need.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That would be a good one.
So yesterday I bought my wife a car. Let's just I did that. And I want to just pause for a second. Like, that's how it happened. Like, I bought my woman a car myself. For various financial reasons. It's just the way that it worked out. But like, I did that. So like now I own 2 cars for the first time in my life, which is really weird.
Wow, you're a real adult now.
Yeah.
And a house. And
I was like, okay, we sussed it out. It took a really long time. We were trying to find the right one, and it was a compromise between what I wanted her in terms of like safety and things, and what, you know, she obviously wanted. We found the right car, and it was tricky because it ended up being the top trim of a model, right? And I wanted to get something relatively, you know, newish years. So that it wasn't super old or had too high miles on it. So we found out that, and we've never done this before, I've never done this before, that rental car places do sell cars, which I did know, but I didn't realize how really, truly great of a deal it is. So essentially, rental car places have to keep the newest cars on their lot. So they don't want anything more than like a year old, right? So now we're in 2021. They have all 2021s and 2022s on their lot, but their 2020s are of no use to them anymore because they want to keep everything current. So what they do is they start selling their 2020s and older of all sorts of trims, right? But most of the time, if you ever notice this, a lot of times you'll get, especially if you go above compact, you'll get the top trim of that line. So in our case, we rented a car and it was a Ford Fusion, but it was a Ford Fusion Titanium, which is the top trim in that line. You don't get like an off the lot, you know, S model entry level thing.
Yeah.
You get like the good one, right? And I've experienced this at quite a few places where they give you like the very, very top SUV or whatever. And that way you get a good experience and you get all the frills and features and whatever. So we fell in love with this car that we had rented. We ended up finding the right one. And we found one that was 2020, and we found one that had a pretty low year mileage on it. So it ends up being the same price as a new car, except it's already depreciated, already has some miles on it, and you get to
fully
have
loaded.
A top trim for a middle to lower trim new car price. We got that same price. We got a used top trim with more features, like fully loaded.
Perfect.
Which was really nice. We had the best experience at this rental car place. And it's not even a rental car place. Like, it's like a separate sales division. Like, that's all this like building
sales
does.
lot?
Yeah, like it's completely separate. It was a guy named Jesse who was awesome. If you end up in the Florida area and you need to buy a car, get it from this dude because it was fantastic. We wanted to trade our car in. Turns out, no title. Didn't exist. We paid the car off. We own this car. And because it was a whole situation between, like, it was in Massachusetts and the DMV was in Massachusetts and we moved and there was all this stuff going on, nobody knows where the title. We called like a million people. Nobody knows where the title is. The bank, the friggin' RMV, and everybody's pointing at the other office going, you have to call them. Like, I just got off the phone with them for 5 hours on hold.
That's the most frustrating
thing
ever.
It was awful. And so we're going back to them, like, we're trying to trade this car into them so that we can use that money to help, you know, offset the price of the new car. And we couldn't get this title. And I'm like, okay, we'll make up backup plans. I'll figure out how to pay the difference, whatever. These wonderful people figured out how to make it work. They made it work. The title isn't, like, we figured out the title situation. It's in process right now. But they were like, when it comes in, just give it to us. It's fine. We'll just make this sale work, you know, which is their prerogative. They don't have to do that, but like they were just, we see that it's already happening. We're not going to hold the whole sale up just for that. And we were just like, oh my God, thank God we needed a win.
And you got it, and now you have the car. So
we got it, and so now we have the car. So I'm like, why did this place call me back the day after? I'm like, oh my God, what happened? I'm looking at the transcription of the voicemail that he left. This is Jerry, who is the dealership manager, who is calling to make sure that everything's cool. He's like, I want to make sure that you're fully...
What good customer service.
Right? He's like, I'm just calling to make sure that you're
Enterprise.
fully satisfied with your purchase. So if you want to call me back, that's fine. But we just wanted to check up and see if you liked it and all this other stuff. And I'm like, this has been the most pleasant experience I've had since I bought the current car I currently have. I got a Mazda, and the Mazda right by me is the same way. Like, real beautiful inside. They give you coffee and tea and water and snacks, and it's like a fancy whole thing, you know? And the people are super nice, and you don't really have to haggle a lot. They're very, very reasonable with prices. Like, our car appraised for like so much more. It appraised for exactly $8 less than my highest target. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Wow.
And let me tell you something. Her car was broke. Like, the exhaust needs to be completely replaced. Like, and when you sell that, you know, places pay that, they repair that stuff for peanuts, for pennies on the dollar, right? All they have to pay for is labor, and it's nothing. Like, the parts cost nothing to them. So I was like, oh, it was almost $1,200 over our initial appraisal at somewhere else. So I was like, these people have made my entire year. Like, I was so stressed out about this car purchase. So listen, Enterprise Car Rental in Orlando specifically on OBT, but don't sleep on car rental sales departments, y'all, because Hertz got it, Avis has got it, and they are not dealerships. So they don't get people just walking in off the street want to buy a Mustang. You know what I mean? They have to work for these sales. And this guy, we started talking to him 3 months ago or 2 months ago or something like that. And he's been texting us like every day. Hey, I just want to see if you're still interested. I just want to make sure. Then we found out that the car that we wanted wasn't on his lot. It was on the adjoining lot next door. And when we showed up, we were like, hi, we're here for Jesse. They were like, oh, yeah. He literally just drove over himself to go drive the car here so that we wouldn't have to pay a transfer fee and put on a truck. He like went and hand delivered it to him. I'm like, these people, listen, they work really, really hard because every single sale means something to them because they don't get that many people in there, you know, so they have to like make it count. So if you're in the car buying stage of your life, maybe give that a look at your local place. Like, go, you know, buy an airport or something, for sure, and see if they have. Holy crap! It was a very, very good experience. I was awfully surprised. Anyway, that was a nice. I always get nervous. I'm like looking at voicemails. I'm like, what's going on?
No, I know, especially the day after, because it's like, what could you possibly need from me right now?
I'm like, oh my god, paperwork didn't go through.
Just check up. That's a good salesperson, because normally once they get the, you know, the check and you get the keys, that's it. They don't care about your face ever again. They really have no obligation to something.
I mean, if part of their business is word of mouth, doing this just makes me do what I'm doing right now and telling people on a podcast or telling my friends, like, you should probably pay attention to this. You know, that's how they make their business. It's really smart.
Yep.
A lot of companies don't do that. They don't consider, you know, where it's going to go when you're done. You know, make a good experience. Which obviously, you know, in customer service as well, it's very, very important to, like, that makes a difference, you know. It really does. Makes everybody's life happier. Anyway, that is the personal lives of Isla and Mackie corner.
Hey,
because why not?
Now let's talk about you guys.
Let's talk about you guys. The Storybrooke Daily Mirror. All right. We love our news boys. So the Storybrooke Daily Mirror is our segment where we talk about our listeners. There was stuff that you have submitted. We talk about how we've interacted with you. I am super pumped to announce that we have released our very, very first SBC bonus content on Patreon, which is really exciting. We were able to talk about all of season 1, and we were able to share some details about our map, which is called Bricky Nation, I think she called it.
Yeah.
And the collection of all of our 5-star reviews of all of the episodes, which was called the Storybrooke Hall of Records. So we were able to kind of talk a little bit about that data and share a map. So Storybrooke Daily Mirror is all about the people who make this show possible. It's not us, it's you guys, or else we'd be talking to no one like we do for 2 hours before the show.
There's just so many ways to join the story.
Yeah. Guys, we're like a really good SNL.
Okay. All right.
We mess up live on the air.
Normally Mackie goes, Isla, how can they join the Storybrooke Daily Mirror? And normally I tell you how you can join the Storybrooke. I tried to do it myself and that did not work. So anyway, if you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, we would really appreciate that. You can send us an email. The email is thesbcpod@gmail.com. We have the Instagram with the same name, the SBC Pod. We have a Discord that you can talk to everyone else and us. Send us a DM. We have a phone number. That phone number starts with 207. I don't remember the rest of it.
536-8512.
That phone number has text message and voicemail capabilities. We will never answer it. Leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on the air. Send us a text message. We will read it on the air and we will talk about it. Love you so much. Thanks. Bye.
And the crowd goes wild. Nice work. So first up in the Storybrooke Daily Mirror, we have some emails that we'd like to go through. Let's do the
I said that I was going to do the emails and I can't even talk. Okay, let's go.
That's fine. You'll be great. Let's go backwards. Let's do the second email first so that we can.
Okay. So, we got to travel a little far for this email.
Yeah.
If I said this wrong, I'm so sorry. So this is from our friend Francisca. Hello, Brookies. I'm Francisca, and I'm from Portugal.
That's exciting.
A new country is being added to our map. Love that.
I'm really pumped about that.
I've been listening to your podcast, and I've been loving it. Once Upon a Time is my favorite show. I watched the whole thing, and now I'm watching it for a second time. I'm in season 4. I usually listen to the pod while doing other things, which is really cool because you guys make me some company and I can be entertained by listening to a theme that I am passionate about.
Nice.
I just want to pause and say that I love that people listen to us while they're doing things, so it feels like they're like hanging out with friends because that's how I listen to podcasts.
Same, me too.
The segments of Storybrooke Circus are quite interesting. I'm always curious to know your MVPs and what are your ratings for the episode. It's also good to learn some production notes. Francisca, can you please tell us your MVPs for an episode? I would love to know.
Yeah.
My favorite characters from Once Upon a Time are Henry and Belle because they are very smart sweethearts and believers who in many situations are the voice of reason when the main characters can't think straight or are too stubborn. But there are other characters that I like from future seasons too. It's incredible how many people care about this wonderful show. I know it makes me very emotional. Your podcast is amazing. Keep up the great work. Stay gold, stay rumple.
Hey, love it.
We have gotten more emails that end with stay gold, stay rumple than not.
We have. That's true. We've actually had a bunch that end in or like catchphrases that we say in the show, not just stay gold, stay rumple, like random, like we are broken was a big thing. And we had we had a lot of like little moments in the show we didn't intend to be a thing that are now a thing, sometimes because we ask for it, but sometimes because the listeners just like make it their own, which is really humbling. It's like kind of awesome that it's kind of grown beyond us. And
I just wanted to touch on her favorite characters. So she said that Henry and Belle because they are very smart sweethearts. I love that because I always feel like the sweethearts play a dumb character.
Yeah, that's true.
Always.
Hurley.
They're always just made to be, like it's just like that scene from New Girl where Jessica Day pops off. She's like, I like glitter, but I'm still strong.
Oh my God.
Like,
it's one of my favorite scenes in the whole show.
Yes. So I agree with you. And thank you so much for listening in Portugal and then taking the time to email us.
Love it. Thank you so much. And I wanna take a moment to stop and create something out of this moment, right? I want everybody, just like Francisca did, to text the show at our number 207-536-8512. And I want to, because we just talked about this in our season recap, we want to know everybody's favorite character, like overall season 1, like MVP, right? So like your favorite season 1 character, your least favorite season 1 character, and maybe we'll just to keep it simple because we went through a bunch of like our faves at the end. To keep it simple, we'll do like your favorite episode of the season and why.
Okay, yeah.
So everybody,
because
if you wanna...
beautiful Miranda over on the Discord does polls for us every week. So everybody votes for their MVP, but we want to know overall, like who was your favorite and your least favorite? Yeah. And then your favorite episode.
And then your favorite episode, so that we can just and doesn't it, you can explain why if you want to, but if you don't want to get it, like if you feel like you don't want to, like you're not good at writing or you don't know how to express it or whatever, literally just you can just say those things.
No context needed.
Yeah, just tell us what your name is. If you want to tell us where you're from, that's fine. But tell us what your name is, your MVP, your LVP, and your favorite episode, so that we can just we can just bust through them at some point. As we get them, we'll say them on the show. I think before we read the next email, this is a good opportunity to talk about that, to talk about our interaction with people. The reason why we're kind of saying that, we reviewed, we do something right before we record called the State of the Union. And this is when we review our numbers, we look at our statistics, we see places where we can improve, we look at kind of patterns and stuff, just so that we can, stay in touch with you guys who are listening to the show. In the Discord, we currently have something, to be fully transparent, something like around 40 people, just a little bit under 40 people that are interacting. And obviously you'd consider there's 40 people in there, but not all 40 of them are engaging simultaneously. We have some heavy hitters who are in there engaging every day. And there's, by the way, no pressure to, if you join, to you don't have to be talking every single day. It's just a kind of a place, a hangout spot. Right.
To check in. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But it turns out, after looking at our statistics, that we have quite an audience. So we're gonna kind of pull the curtain back a little bit and share a little bit of what we have going on. So right now, this is a really rough estimate, so it's not exactly accurate, but we have something around 150 to 160 people listening, which is the reason why we want to be transparent about that, is because even if that doesn't sound like a lot, we thought that 12 people were going to listen to the show. So
maybe
on a good day. So we are actually really, really proud and really, really excited that many people are listening. And I know that real podcast world, thousands of people are listening to some podcasts, right? And hundreds of people are on those podcasts Patreon, literally hundreds, right? 250 people or something like that on someone's Patreon. But we're proud of every single one of the estimated audience we see show up every single Friday, every single weekend, who are not only listening to the current episode, but also listening to, older episodes as well. But we're starting to get those patterns really be bumped up, where people are starting to expect the episodes on Fridays, and they're really starting to listen before the weekend is out. We're really starting to hit some pretty decent numbers there, right?
Right.
We're only really talking to 30 or 40 of you out of a potential 150 or more in the week. So
who are you?
Yeah. You guys are just lurking around. We know you're here. We want to talk to you. We want, this show is a two-way conversation.
Show yourself. I'm trying to meet you.
That was fantastic. I really like that. So the Discord is how you do that. You don't have to show your face. You don't have to have your voice be heard. If you want to, you can certainly leave a voicemail like some of our listeners have. But certainly text us or email us. But in the Discord, we can get to know you guys and learn what your favorite things are and talk to you about what our favorite things are.
Mama, it's always shady.
Oh, it is?
It's always shady.
That's great.
And if you want to hear more of Harper Jane, then you got to stay tuned. We should put a fake stand-in person for Harper in the Discord. You're Harper thinks this. I love
Harper
that.
says.
Yeah, I love it. Harper says. That's perfect. But yeah, the Discord is really where that's where you need to be at. Because then we can talk back and forth with you, and we can have a true conversation instead of just a one-way us talking at you in your car or cleaning your house or whatever you're doing. So we encourage a bigger party. That's our goal now. Now that we've gone past our first goal of season 1, we surpassed 5,000 all-time plays. Is also a part of our State of the Union, which again, most podcasts are in the hundreds of thousands of plays, but this very humble beginning on this podcast, that means a lot to us. 5,000 is a lot, something a lot. So yeah, so come to the party, and talk to us in Discord. We encourage that. You'll find the link in the show notes, or if you just want to pick your phone up and go to Linktree, so it would be linktr.ee. Is that how it works? Go to our Instagram.
Link in bio on IG.
Yeah, at the SBC pod, and you will see a link in the bio, and there is the Discord. It's one of the first things up there. Anyway, now I feel like we can continue on with a really, really dope email that I'm super, super pumped about. But I just wanted to get people invited into we want you to have a seat at the table. So
Yeah.
Please come join us.
So, wow. Okay. Mackie and I know what's coming, but like you guys don't know what's coming. So this is a lot. This is from Heather. We've talked before. So, hello, Isla and Mackie. I want to congratulate you guys for reaching the milestone 1 season down. I have really enjoyed listening and chiming in every now and then, sharing my thoughts and feelings with you. Boy, I have had some feelings. Listening to the season finale, essentially watching it with you guys, gave me chills. Since I found the show later, I watched it by myself at first. I didn't realize how impactful it would be to watch it with friends. Okay. I'm gonna cry. Okay. So I have been working on my digital art skills this summer so I can be better at my job, but also just for fun. What do you do for work? I am usually pretty shy about sharing my work, but I'm always pushing my kids to be brave. That's a good mom right there. I got inspired by the question I asked you both a while back about what costume you would want to wear from the show. I love portraits and fashion drawings, so I drew you both in the costumes you picked. Doing some research on these costumes was amazing. Zooming in on all the little details was incredible. Eduardo Castro and all the incredibly skilled artists who worked with him had to turn some of these costumes around in a week. My drawings took longer than that. Okay. Wow. I also pulled references for the two of you from your Instagram profiles. Isla, I love your style and your adorable family. Thank you so much. Mackie, I actually got your picture from your wife Taryn's Instagram because Mackie never posts on Instagram. I am now a very impressed follower. Yes, Taryn influencer. Her account is beautiful and dreamy. It made me feel like I was on vacation for a few minutes. I hope you like the art. I never expect anything that I make, especially in okay. I just appreciate the two of you and I want to give you something from the bottom of my heart. Your friend, Heatherly.
Heatherly.
I can't. Okay, wait. I can show YouTube.
You can show YouTube.
Look at this motherfucking picture right here. This is okay. So we're gonna post this in the Discord. We're gonna post this on our Instagram. We're gonna do a lot of things with this.
I wanted to do it. I said I'm posting this live, real time as we record the show. I said, ladies and germs, may I present an SBC contribution from our very own Heatherly. And then I put the picture in. It is in the pod chat channel.
This is going everywhere.
Yeah, this is incredible.
It's like, oh, I practice my skills. Like, but no, this is not like a practice. This is a full-blown portrait.
Like,
you frame this.
Incredible.
Oh my God. It's going to go up on my wall in my little office here.
Absolutely. We can. If we can get it in the frame for when we record this show, that would be amazing. I might put it right here.
This might be where I have to paint over that. Bart has to paint over that at some point. That's going to go over here. Okay.
Maybe. Or I could even put it right here. Heather, this art is going on both of our walls. This is
Heather.
I can't even
explain. The fact that you took 5 minutes of your time to type up an email. I love when people do that.
We're like blown away. We're like, oh my God, why do you even care about us?
You drew a portrait. You're like every single artist that has ever been on this earth. All of their names just left my brain. I almost just said Da Vinci. Is that even an artist? I don't know.
I mean, they were.
You're like Picasso minus the ear incident.
did the Sistine Chapel. He did the ceiling.
Leonardo da Vinci is the Da Vinci Code, national treasure, right?
Yeah. And didn't Da Vinci do Mona Lisa too? Guys, we're like ninth grade level, like education level. Like the both of us are not
ninth grade. Anyway, you're an artiste.
Who the hell is Leonardo?
I'm gonna skip over this. We're dumb.
No, this really is incredible. And the fact that this is not just a really cool portrait of the two of us, the fact that we are dressed in period clothing, specific costumes that we picked out, right? And they are impeccably executed. Like, so she referred to it as the Mackie Hatter and the Isla Queen, which like just enough alliteration where it works. You know what I mean? Instead of the evil queen,
Da Vinci,
the Isla Queen.
Yes, is very talented. He did the Mona Lisa in The Last Supper.
I'm sure he appreciates that.
And Vitruvian Man.
The Last Supper and the Vitruvian Man.
Oh, he did so many things.
I think he sculpted and painted. And other stuff too.
I think Michelangelo did the Sistine Chapel.
God damn. All right. Well, someone will correct. Like I keep saying, someone will correct
it was
in the
Michelangelo.
Discord. I just move along. I was like, it's one of the Ninja Turtles, right?
You know what? we're gonna go to Epcot in like 2 weeks, and we'll get cultured from other
There you
countries. Don't
go.
worry.
There you go. We have a solution. But yeah, this is impeccably done, and the concept behind it is great, and it's not only great, but it's so on brand for us too. It's not just like a fun side project.
This isn't like cheesy fan art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which
like this
also,
is something
nothing
that,
wrong with
like,
cheesy fan art. There's a place for that too.
No,
we love that too.
There is, but like
this is beyond that.
This is something I genuinely would hang in my house. I'm going to hang it in my house. It's literally going in my office.
Yeah. No, this is great.
It fits the mood. I'm a picky bitch, and I am like freaking out about this.
Miranda said, what in all caps. Oh my God, this is amazing. I am reading reactions real time. I'm so glad that someone.
Look at, she gave me my wings that I'm currently not wearing. Sorry, YouTube. But like,
yeah, that's true. It's okay. It's fine. But the hair is perfect. Like that is Regina's side hair. And I don't even, did we have would this be her flashback young Regina riding hair? Right?
Is this from what episode did I pick from this from?
This looks like
the
Apple
Belle
Red
episode or the Mad Hatter episode?
It had to have been Hat Trick, right?
Yeah, I think it was Hat Trick.
She's wearing, I mean, she looks like she's wearing a riding coat.
And like the fact, I don't even know if she did it on purpose, but the fact that Regina's cape looks like the wallpaper in Haunted Mansion.
Oh yeah. That is so stunning. That purple is beautiful. It's just like, listen, it's
and
royal.
Your face, it looks like we copy and pasted your face.
I mean, that is, this is also the first non commissioned piece of art anyone has made of me. Like I've paid 2 artists to like make like a photography little like, but like I'm talking like a little tiny sketch of just my head, right? Like we're not talking like a full blown thing. It's just, and then I had my logo for Mackie Mouse Media is something that a comic book artist is a friend of mine. A comic book artist drew me similar to Facebook, but he also,
oh my gosh, Heather saw it.
Like does this for a living, and like this could
opening up Discord now.
This could easily replace or be a good substitute for the ones that I have professionally done. Like that's how incredible this is. If you want to see it, it's in Discord now. So if this is as good of a pitch for joining Discord as I could possibly give you right now, so you could see what we're ranting and raving about.
And the queen herself, Heather, is online now.
She is online now.
She now knows.
But like now is not now, because it is now at the time of recording, but no one's gonna, because time. But everyone is
Time's
praising.
not real.
What do we get? Darth Mel said, "Oh my God, you made this! It's amazing! Like holy cannoli, this is cool." Says Miranda. And then Darth Mel says, "Someone else says holy cannoli, my people." Discord is a great place.
Exactly.
Oh, and Heather is now sending blushing emojis and saying thank you to everyone. Oh man, yeah. So if you want to see that continuing conversation bloom and flourish, then head over to the Discord. But we like it so much, we're gonna try and make some further uses out of it beyond.
This is not the last time we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah. So stay tuned. I don't want to give too much away just in case it doesn't work out, but I want to. It's a work in progress. But we might have an update for you potentially as soon as next week's episode of some plans that we'll do with this, but definitely soon, if not then. So Heatherly, a huge round of applause.
Yeah, like all of the noises.
All of the noises. And 1 drink bell. So we have, moving on from there, a voicemail. We have a voicemail from a voice that will sound familiar to those of you who have been following our saga. So make sure that all the audio is situated in the right way. I believe it is. All right, let's do it.
Hey, Mackie and Isla, it's Jonathan from Georgia. I was just calling because I just finished the episode on We Are Both, and I loved your discussion. It was wonderful, and it was so much fun to hear people talk about the return of my favorite character, Cora.
Cora, I love Cora.
I love the Regina-Cora relationship. I am such a big proponent of it. Barbara Hershey is just such an underused talent in the industry, and I'm so glad even on this soap opera she has a chance to really play a character who, while we haven't seen it yet, I think still waters run deep is all I'll say with that character. And I loved the
Oh no.
What's happened?
I think it's
we were watching the show were very like, so what's that name? Anyway, I really enjoyed the episode, and Isla, this is for you. I'm not going to have time to record it in full, so I thought I would just leave it here for y'all. I hope you're somewhere praying, praying. I hope your soul is changing, changing. I hope you'll find the peace, falling on your knees, praying. Have a great day, y'all. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
A consummate performer.
Wow.
Crowd goes wild again. Can I just say that the Google Voice transcription of that, which is like absolutely terrible and never gets it right, it just says, I'm not going to have time to record it in full, so I thought I would just leave it here for y'all. I hope your soul is dead. Have a great day. Because it couldn't pick up the syllables. But yeah.
Jonathan messaged me the other day and was like, I'm learning praying for you. And I was like, I love you.
We love a good performer. Thank you very much, Jonathan, for
gosh.
that.
I love that he also appreciates Cora.
Yeah.
For how evil she is, because she's just so phenomenal.
Like that Cora is his favorite character. We talked about our favorite characters and people who made us feel good, and we dabbled a little bit in the Patreon episode about, like, you were talking about villains being your potential favorite, and why, like, we talked about, like, you know, even though they make you feel bad, that some of them do it in a good way. So the fact that Cora is his favorite character out of everybody, and it's like the most villainous villain of all time, and he's right. There are some things that we haven't seen yet that will, you know, flesh that character out a little bit, but that I love a good villain appreciator, right? I love the people who are like, Cruella, yeah, I'm glad this new movie came out because I've been on Cruella's side the whole time, minus the puppy killing, but like the psychological part, right? You know? Yeah, that's always a really cool angle. But yeah, Jonathan is always a treat to see your number show up on the voicemail. So thank you again for your wonderful thoughts and contribution to the Storybrooke Daily Mirror and song. That's so great. I love that we have a show where people call in and sing. Like that's a thing that we have now that we can't take back. Like that's forever. Like people are comfortable enough to call our show and sing on the air, and
it's the environment we create. It's because I sing every week.
That's why, right
like,
there.
I can do it because I know they literally go, well, I'm better than that, so I have nothing to lose, and that's why they do it.
Oh, listen, we're all in this together. That's really what it comes
we're what?
Do it. I set it up.
We're what? We're all in this together. Once we know that we are world stars, and we see that.
Thank you. You did the choreography. If you watched the YouTube, she did the choreography too, by the way, just in case you were wondering if she did. Affirmative. Can confirm. We have, last but not least,
I'll text message.
One text message left from an Amanda. Amanda from St. Louis, Missouri is, I think, where St. Louis
Took me a minute to think about the state, and it is Missouri.
I hope it is. This is Disney for Life, 1987. From our Discord. Says Mackie, Isla, y'all need where in the USA is Carmen Sandiego to brush up on that geography. Winky face. That's the whole text message.
Well, is she wrong? No.
Also, thanks a lot, but you're not wrong. So
to plug the Patreon, we did talk about this on the bonus episode. So if you're curious about anything Carmen Sandiego, I'm gonna stop talking today. If you're interested,
you're doing fine.
That go listen to it, because we really do like just in that alone, St. Louis, we had to sit here and we're like, hold on.
Oh, we're the worst.
Sounds right.
We're awful, and we do. And also, Carmen Sandiego games and the show is like one of my favorite things. I also brought up in that recap show that there is a YouTube documentary on Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, and like where it came from and its history and the game versus the show versus all the iterations that came after it. If there's anybody out there who like really enjoys Carmen Sandiego, it's kind of a nostalgic thing, who would like to see that, I'm going to put that link in the show notes as well. And I'm going to also put it into the Discord, because it's a 30-minute show, like a full 30-minute show on YouTube. It is extremely interesting. And like Carmen Sandiego is so a part of like the 90s kids' childhood, you know. It's like a very like late, like 1989 or 88 or something like that, and like went full early 90s education in programs for kids, like PBS, like huge, Bill Nye the Science Guy, and like all these shows that were just like trying to teach kids instead of just entertain them. And Carmen Sandiego was like dead in the middle of that. And I remember some of these kids, they were like naming like little tiny insignificant towns in countries I had never heard of, let alone could point out on a map and like put a flag on. They were so smart, and it was cool because it made you want to be a smart kid. Like it made you want to be like, I want to be smart like that. Harper Jane is back.
Yeah, we're not gonna lose it. We're gonna pack it for Disney.
She dipped out of the frame. It's so funny. I'm so glad it shows up on YouTube. She's just like, I'm out. That's it for me. Well,
I love her.
With that, I will say, what time is it? It's time to do it rockapella.
Wildcats.
Not Wildcats. It's do it rockapella.
Oh my god.
You're welcome. We're doing this now. You got called out.
Well, she sneaks around the world from India to Carolina. She's a sticky-fingered filcher from Berlin down to Belize. She'll take you for a ride on a slow boat to China. Tell me, where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego?
Steal their soul in South Korea, making let it cook right up from the Red Sea.
Also, this guy's voice, that guy's name is Scott Leonard, and his voice is so high. It's absurd.
Where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego? She go from Nashville to
This also made, let's talk about this for a second. This also made acapella like a real thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It made acapella something that kids wanted to do. Like singing was
Made it
cool,
cool.
music was cool, yeah. And they were amazing. They were like, and they're in the show, but like, I was obsessed with them. Turns out, Rockapella is still playing all black guys and Scott Leonard. Yeah, listen to this.
Tell me where can she be?
Like just screaming his head off.
Right. Like my throat hurts.
Yeah. Anyway. So, Rockapella, a little homage to Rockapella there. This is like the full version.
Cool.
This is a 2.5 minute version of the intro. The intro was really like 30 seconds, but that's the full one. Yeah, it's all black guys and Scott Leonard. So this is what happened, and it's in that documentary. They were featured in a show a movie, like a short that Spike Lee had directed. I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. It was called, it was in Great Performances, right? Ah, dang. But it was basically like a music medley, right? Where people would so they did an original song on that show, called the Zombie Jamboree, which is something that I knew from the 90s. It was something that they did in all their concerts and stuff too. And essentially PBS found them and, signed them to do Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, and because they were seen on national television, that's right, it was called Do It Acapella. Which is why their sign on for Carmen Sandiego was Do It Rockapella.
Okay.
Yeah, Do It Acapella was like a 1990 random documentary on PBS, and they were like, like they would be really cool. So this Zombie Jamboree song, and they had like curly mullets, like it was very like 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
And it was originally 4 guys, and they added a drummer, like a percussionist, like a vocal percussionist.
Yep.
Made it 5 guys. And they were like, they had to come up with little things in the show, like while it was happening. So like the show would start and they'd watch it and then they'd go back and like write a little skit, like a bit.
Wow.
Like, and vocally. So they would like cover a song, like a Billy Joel song, and then they would cut from commercial to them and they would like cover a Billy Joel song but with clues from Carmen Sandiego. Like, and they had to come up with it while the show was happening, while it was taping. And they were taping like, you know, like once a week or so, like, or like doing one episode a week. It was a really grueling schedule. But then once they did that and they got really known, they became like a cappella sensations and were going on tour and all this stuff. And there was this really, really huge, tall bass guy, and they went through a few guys in the middle. But Scott Leonard is one of the few people who was there from the very, very beginning, who is currently still in rockapella. That's what he does full time. And he's in his
rockapella walked so Pentatonics could run. I mean, real.
Quite literally, yeah. That was the beginning of the kind of, you know, craze of acapella. And I really,
Pitch Perfect
really
too.
Pitch Perfect, yeah. All of those things that, you know, and like really like show choir culture, all of that stuff really kind of came from this, you know, PTSD. So anyway, that's our little acapella, rockapella, Carmen Sandiego tangent for the day.
Thank you, Amanda, for calling us out. We appreciate that.
Thank
we need to be humbled occasionally.
Yeah, that's true. It's 100% true. So boop. Let's go back to our notes. So that is the end of our Storybrooke Daily Mirror.
You guys killed it this week.
Like, killed it.
Murdered. Somebody call 911.
I got another text message. Not a good customer service situation. Hi, I'm Jason from Walmart. You have an item addressed to you. Can you please confirm it today? And then a gobbledygook email link. I'm like,
oh, yes. Click the link. I'm sure it's also going to tell you
all your
$1 million.
Yeah. All you have to do is just sign into your bank real quick, and then we can send it to your house.
Yeah.
Stupid. Oh man, this show is just packed with a lot of live stuff for this show.
Yeah,
it's very exciting.
We're just going for it. Who cares?
One day we're gonna record a real live show and have people.
No, we're probably not.
Why not? Are you kidding me? It's so fun. I love people just sitting and watching the shit show chaos.
No,
happen.
I'm so sorry. I thought you were saying we're gonna record like a real show one day, like be serious and like take it seriously. I was like, no, we're not.
Oh no, we're not gonna do that. But we might do the shit show that we already record and do it live because that would be fun.
I would love that.
Okay, great. I'm glad we're back on the same page.
Not only can I not talk, I also can't hear you.
Oh no, we're doing great today. It's fine. It's way better that way. At least we're not boring. We can say that. Gosh, this stupid sun just keeps like making my thing. I put it on auto and then my skin goes from like great to even now. This is the part where Mackie changes his video that only the 12 people who watch the video can actually see or care about. Shout out Miranda, I know you're watching. Season 2, episode 3 is what we're talking about today. We finally got into the show.
Lady of the Lake.
1 hour in, and we're finally talking about Once Upon a Time. Lady of the Lake, as Isla just mentioned, that is the name of the episode. The character backstory, we're going back to Snow and Charming once again. We're going to continue on with their story. We'll talk about that during the synopsis real quick. October 14th, 2012 is when this was airing live. It's written by Andrew Chambliss and Ian Goldberg and directed by Milan Chayloff. Milan Chayloff was Skin Deep, which is the Rumple episode, and then An Apple Red as Blood, which is the very end of the season. That was attacking the queen and trying to save Charming, and then the queen makes Snow eat the apple. I'm just going to go take a quick look at what episode Andrew Chambliss and, what did I just say? Andrew Chambliss and Ian Goldberg. Because their names came up a few other times. Andrew Chambliss and Ian Goldberg's first episode was The Shepherd. And then, for some reason, it's listed Ian Goldberg and Andrew Chambliss. And for Fruit of the Poisonous Tree was the next one. I think that's significant. Like, they did do it as a team, but it flips their names, and I think that's kind of...
Oh, that must mean something.
I think it
Nothing's
does.
really on accident when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah. Billing is very important. And then we have... But it also could be Wiki could have messed it up. Like, the people who entered it could have messed it up.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, wait, where are we? The Shepherd, Fruit of the Poisonous Tree. So it was 6, 11. And then the next one is 16, which is Heart of Darkness. And flipped again, Ian and Andrew... 20, The Stranger, which is this is August finally revealing himself to Emma.
Yeah.
So they had 4 episodes, 1, 2, 4 episodes in season 1. That team, and neither one of them, I don't think it looks like they've done anything by themselves. So they must be like that actually is an interesting thing to look at. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Doesn't look like it. Because even Jane Espenson and David H. Goodman got together, but had both
Why
done
is
stuff
it just
on their
those
own.
two only
They
doing?
must be like just a power couple, man. Go,
Yeah.
guys. Hey, get it. So we had those 4 episodes before, so now we're getting back into the Snow Charming story. Dean White is probably unavailable for some reason because he's basking in the glory of them being together now. He's like off at the tabloids.
Yeah.
Like, I made that happen. 9.45 million people tuned into this one from the 9.8 something from last week. So going down a little bit, but we're still going strong. Here's a synopsis. Emma and Mary Margaret, with the aid of Mulan, Aurora, and brave knight Lancelot, attempt to find a portal that will bring them back to Storybrooke. A dark force threatens their safe return, and Henry Mills tries to talk Jefferson into reuniting with his daughter. Yes, we have some more Sebastian Stan.
Yes.
Let's go. Meanwhile, in the fairy tale land, on the eve of meeting Prince Charming's mother. So this is weird because they're in the fairy tale land. And then they're like, meanwhile, back in fairy tale land, but the fairy tale land of the past, not the fairy tale land of the future, which is probably also the past because of the timeline. On the eve of meeting Prince Charming's mother, King George poisons Snow White. This girl cannot get a break.
I know, for real. Can she just have somebody not chasing her for
or
just
like
one
trying
day?
to kill her via poison. The only antidote lies within the waters of the Lady of the Lake, hence the title.
Ooh.
All right. So now we get into a fun section that we call Production Notes. Production Notes is when we talk about things and the show, some behind the scenes features and things that were going on with the writers and with the set, etc. The very first production note will feature a brand new sound effect that is exclusive to this episode that I have not yet shown Isla.
This is it? Okay.
Every single time we mention it, it's going to happen. Every time
oh my God, I know what it is.
We mention it. The title card, the first thing that we see in the show is going to feature our boy Lancelot.
It's gonna happen.
So that's our Lancelot cue. And
can we do it again?
Yeah, of course. Wait, I'll do it in the context of the synopsis. So
okay, yeah.
Emma and Mary Margaret, with the aid of Mulan, Aurora, and brave knight Lancelot.
Mr. Lafayette, hard rock like Lancelot.
So good.
You pants like hot.
Hard rock like Lancelot. Every time I say Lancelot, I can't say it not like Lancelot.
Oh, I love that.
I'm rapping in my mind.
My love for Hamilton is just so big.
Or Lafayette actually saying the Lancelot of the Revolutionary set.
Yes.
Right? There's a lot of Lancelot references, and I actually looked up some Reddits on this, and they were talking. They're like, "Why?" Like, angry people. I was like, "I don't get it. Like, why Lancelot was England and this is America?" So the Camelot story, Lancelot is King Arthur's right hand man. He's his best friend, right? That's his number one. That's his number two guy, right? And there are actually a lot of really cool parallel lines between the little group, that the Fates all allowed to be in the same spot at the same time, right? During the American Revolution, of Hamilton and Lafayette and Hercules Mulligan and John Lawrence being the sort of 18th century American, Knights of the Round Table. Because they were trying to overthrow the kingdom, and they were, and they had to come together to do some kind of sort of irregular things to get there, right? They had to enlist with Merlin and magic and all this stuff. And in the American Revolution, they had to get a little creative, to get what they needed. So there's a lot of cool.
How are we not connecting the dots on that?
Dude, the internet is just a wild place, man. It really is. What's really great is that Lancelot, in this whole context of this stuff, there are a lot of really cool Camelot references in this. And we'll get into some of them later, but Lancelot is not the only, because you're thinking this is really random that Lancelot would just Lancelot too. It's not even like Arthur and Merlin and these other people. It's just him. So we'll get into it a little bit more, but let's see where we're at. Little HJ.
She's playing Raya, and Bart is Tuk Tuk, so she is riding on his back throughout the house right now.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Guys, kids are a
Harbor has the best
hoot.
games.
She's got a fantastic imagination too, which I really appreciate.
We play Bluey a lot.
Oh yeah?
If you've ever watched the show Bluey, so it's house. Well, we have to talk in Australian accents. If you are caught not speaking an Australian accent, you're playing the game wrong, and we have to start over.
You lose. I love that. Oh man, I'm so excited for your house tip.
Yeah, I just refuse to apologize for how my house is. Like, sorry, Harper is a part of the show.
No, don't. I like that Harper's part of the show. I hope you guys like it too. I'm sure they don't care. All right, so We Are Both, our last episode, and Lady of the Lake, they were filmed at the same time.
Huh.
Sorry,
that's so
We Are Both is
confusing.
not our last episode. We Are Both. So let's get this timeline right. Broken. So We Are Both was filmed first, but shown second, right?
Yep.
Because Broken was
Oh,
first.
yes. So We Are Both was supposed to be the premiere, and then Broken was supposed to be the second episode.
Right.
So,
which means that they also taped the premiere and this Lady of the Lake episode at the same time, and then taped Broken, and then bumped Broken up to season premiere, which still was the right choice. I wonder if
it's just so confusing for them.
It's very and normally television is not filmed this way. It's very much, and I think it might have just been because maybe the We Are Both the parts that were in the forest of Mulan and Aurora and all that stuff, they just shot all that stuff succinctly all the way through.
Yeah.
Just because they were on location or they were in the soundstage and they already had costumes and everything was all done, so they just shot all of those scenes together, which would make sense. And because each episode contains things from a few different timelines, it's like, I don't think they taped the whole episode. Like, we're not talking about editing here. We're talking about filming. So it could be just that one segment. It is, but it is very confusing. The ogre featured in this episode was computer generated from an on-set visual effect tool.
They couldn't get a real ogre.
Slackers.
Embarrassing.
How dare you even show up to work without a real ogre? It was a paper ogre head on a stick. Now,
it's even worse.
This is actually a common practice with CG. So it says the stick acts as a stand-in to give the actors in the filming scene appropriate eye level visually, and also allows the CGI team to accurately create the CGI character in the correct spot. I will explain. When you're on a soundstage like that, right, you don't just film willy-nilly and then hand this over to a visual effects person and they like hand draw in characters and put in CG stuff, right? There's a lot of like weird camera tracking that has to happen and lighting, and there's all these things that have to happen. But the joke of, if you've ever heard people scream, we'll do it in post. Yes, it's an event that happened on actual TV, you know, we'll do it live, right? But the whole we'll do it in post thing is from kind of bad directors just saying, oh, well, we'll just fix it later. And the common practice in film is you do as many things as you can do. And any good director, if you talk to filmmakers of any era, right, they all try to do as much in camera as you can so that the CG department has less time, less money, less stress to try to put that stuff in. So the closer you get it to in real life, the more accurate the CG will be when they just composite it in. That means that people have to be looking in the right place. They have to be standing in the right place. If you have something, think Hagrid from Harry Potter. If you've ever seen documentaries on the way that the first few Harry Potter movies were made, they put a guy, like a 7-foot tall guy, in an even bigger suit that made him even larger. And the actual actor that played Hagrid is not 7 feet tall. He's a normal sized dude. In fact, he's rather short. He's like 5'9" or something like that, right? Yeah. So they took this giant guy with this animatronic face that actually, if you know, well, the Blu-ray and the versions that are streaming have improved all this stuff. But when it happened real time in the movies, the face of Hagrid in those wide shots actually improved. They improved the technology of the motorized puppet. It blinked, the eyebrows went up and down. There was real hair plugged into it. His mouth went up and down. It was like an animatronic, like a one in the parks.
Wow.
And they did it so that the kids and everybody, when they shot those things, they didn't just make Robbie Coltrane larger. They actually had a big dude in there, so they would have a reference to match Robbie
Weird
Coltrane
look.
into the scene. Yeah. So they do that pretty often. And when you can't do that, if you can't hire an actor who's really tall or something like that, actually one of Taryn's friends is a basketball player or something from her college. That's all he does now. He plays monsters and big because he's huge. He's like, I think he's like 6'11" or 7 foot. So they just put him in, prosthetics and stuff and make him walk around. If you can't get that, which is very expensive, the alternative is to have to shoot on a green screen, meaning the entire set is a green wall and floor and ceiling and everything. And then you put people in head to toe green jumpsuit outfits, including their eyes and face, everything. And they hold up a big green stick, and on the end of the stick is like a big circle with an X through it or whatever, the tennis ball, a fruit, it doesn't matter what it is. They'll literally put a fucking banana on the end of a stick and hold it out on set so that when people are looking at it, they're looking right in the correct eye line. Do you have any idea how much more difficult it would be to not only create a CG character, but then go in and digitally enhance someone looking into a different location because it was wrong?
Match it. Yeah,
you know
exactly.
So it's actually pretty common practice for someone to put something on a stick and just be like, look,
that
here.
was like Benedict Cumberbatch when he played Gollum, right?
Yeah, it was the dragon. He played.
Sorry, not Gollum. I'm sorry.
What the hell is Smaug, whatever his name is. Smaug, whatever that dragon is that talks. You're talking about Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis plays Gollum.
Yeah, who did Benedict just play? Where he was in that weird little.
An action movie, or like a.
Nope, hold on. I gotta find this now.
You also have motion capture, which is different. That means that an actor is going to put on a suit with little balls on it, and cameras track where the balls go.
Oh, I think that's what I'm thinking of. I'm sorry.
Because Andy Serkis did that. He also did that for Planet of the Apes, right? Where he's walking around. He's like walking around like a gorilla, or like a chimpanzee or whatever. There.
Yeah. Oh no, I am thinking of The Hobbit, but yeah, he was who?
The destruction of Smaug, whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
Smaug. Smog. Stupid name.
Smog.
But yeah.
Okay. So I didn't realize that those were two different things.
But he would have had dots on his face, and he would have stood in front of an actor. Now here's the tricky part, right? So Robbie Coltrane standing on set, if a kid comes up to his chin and they're looking slightly up at him, but Hagrid needs to be another 3 feet tall, then they could put like a big thing on the top of his head and then tell the kids, don't look at his face, look at the head above him, because that's where it's really going to be. This is the equivalent of that. And that's also another common practice, is to stick some big giant like thing on someone's head and be like, look at the thing above their head.
Right.
It's all about like eye lines and stuff. So the fact that the onset tool is like a big paper, but sometimes the thing that's standing in is kind of silly. So like I said, it's literally like fruits, tennis balls. Like I think they did something like that with Wilson in Castaway. Like they had real props that they would like put in places for him to or sometimes it's not a CG event. It's like you have to look off to this thing and something's going to happen there, like an explosion or whatever. And so they'll like swing over a thing, and that's the reference point for them to like a ball or something. And then they'll be like, everybody look at the ball, Even
like back in the day with Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, 100%. That's exactly how that would have been done. Almost frame for frame. Yeah.
All of those people had to shoot with cartoons,
and they're not there. Yeah, absolutely. And they wouldn't have a thing walking around. They would. And actually, Roger Rabbit is funny. That is on Disney Plus. There's a show called what's the prop show? Propped Up or something like that. There's a show about a guy who collects props. So he goes and finds where the actual props from the movies go, and he found a bunch of Roger Rabbit ones. And the guy who played the stand-in for Roger Rabbit was on set. It was a guy in a Roger Rabbit suit, and so in this case the prop was the suit, right? With bunny ears, like a full costume, with the entire way that he looked, with the red overalls and everything, who acted with everybody in the scene. But Roger Rabbit was 2 feet shorter than this guy who was normal height, so they had to do some stuff to make it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So there's a lot of cool stuff about this is the Mackie knows how film is made corner.
Yes.
Because I've been on film sets before where this stuff is done. It's actually really, really interesting. My jaws is open on the floor when I'm in rooms because this stuff is so fascinating when you're like, this is how a movie is made. Like it's not just, It doesn't just happen. Like there's a lot of little intricacies. Anyway, so there's ogres now. Because it's the ogre war. But that's exciting. That means that we're going to see an ogre for the first time. I think it's the first time, I believe.
It is.
So that's kind of cool. According to Andrew Chambliss, this story, more timeline crap. This story takes place 2 years before the casting of the Dark Curse. So we're not talking about the Mulan Emma stuff. We're probably talking about the, what's the background one? The Prince Charming, King George, Snow White stuff. So this is after they've gotten married, right? I think.
Yep.
And I guess King George is still butthurt about Snow being the actual love of his life. And after the queen poisoned her and after the prince woke her up for true love's kiss, but before the Dark Curse. So that's the part we saw in episode 1 when she crashes the wedding. We see Regina get the Dark Curse, try to exact the Dark Curse, kill her dad, and then execute the Dark Curse, I think in episode 2, I believe. That's so according to him, that's a 2-year span. It wasn't right away. It wasn't like the day after they got married. Well, it couldn't have been because Emma was born, right? On the day of the curse thing. So and furthermore, it wasn't just 9 months after. It was like he officially said it was 2 years. I don't know if that's significant or not. They also occur a week after A Land Without Magic. Which one? I'm assuming that's the present day Enchanted Forest. Is that is so they've been gone a week, I guess, maybe. Because they
that would make sense,
right? Because they got taken the first day of the curse being broken, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would have been a week after. So they've been gone for a week. That might inform some like Prince Charming brooding and Storybrooke being like, I miss them so much. Like they just left. No, it's been a week. Okay. Cool Disney reference. There's a couple of them in this one. Mulan tells Emma and Mary Margaret, follow my lead, step where I step, do exactly as I say, and we might survive. It's a reference to I'll make a man out of you.
I was going to say, that's...
Oh, man.
You can tell.
Time is racing toward us till the Huns arrive. Heed my every order, and you might survive. So that's friggin' awesome. Because it's
love
subtle.
that. The soundtrack of Mulan is
so
up there.
Donny Osmond, let's go. Go.
That part of quarantine where they did those sing-alongs and he showed up and he did I'll Make a Man Out of You with all of his like 1,700 grandchildren. I was like, this is the best.
Oh, I was full tears in both of my eyes while watching that. Okay, so here we go. This is something I talked about. This episode's title. It's the name of a critical supporting character in the Arthurian legend. The Lady of the Lake, in this case, the Lady of the Lake doesn't actually appear, it's just a reference. Receiving only an indirect mention, right? When Lancelot says that his mother raised him by a lake, and Charming refers to how he killed the siren in Lake Nostos. So Lady of the Lake is a thing in the King Arthur story, is what they're saying, and what they reference. This is another literary reference back to King Arthur. I'm sure Jane Espenson, as executive producer, probably had her hand in that, I would imagine. I just assume because I know I'm best buds with Jane Espenson in my brain. So
yeah,
like
we're homies now.
Anytime something literary happens, I'm like, oh, that was Jane. No, I know that was Jane because that's Jane's thing. It's like making some pretty big assumptions.
The Jane thing, you wouldn't get it.
You would know.
You know.
If you know, you know. I mean, you'd have to be there. It's so dumb. At the Safe Haven, I think that's a place. The group has Chimera for dinner. That's weird. The Chimera is a fire-breathing monster from Greek mythology. So now we're crossing over mythologies here a little bit. That's what I thought. Chimera is basically their devil, right? It's their big, what's that big flapping one in Fantasia?
The scary thing.
That big thing. It's the Greeks version of that. At dinner, Emma asks about ogres. She says, as in fee fi fo fum, which is a reference to Jack and the Beanstalk, which is some stupid shit Emma would say. Like, cause she's supposed
okay,
but
what else
us.
Would you compare it to? Except me, I'd be like, you mean like Shrek?
Yeah. But we keep remembering that like Emma represents us, the viewer.
Yeah.
To be like, I just found out magic is real, and you're like, ogres? You mean like ogres?
No, you're like fee fi fo fum. Like that's exactly how she would say it. I wonder if that's
fucking racist, Emma. So thanks for being discriminatory. Ogres have feelings too. Excuse me. Lancelot.
Mr. Lafayette, hard rock like Lancelot.
Love this so much. Lancelot says that he's fallen from grace because of a woman. A reference to the character's legendary romance with Guinevere.
I am having really bad deja vu right now.
Oh, yeah? So this comes up I mean, they do this a lot.
No. This entire conversation since you talked about Fee Fi Fo Fum.
Oh, really? Weird.
Okay, I'm back.
Is something
that
repeating?
Was weird.
Is the
that was
Matrix
very,
being unplugged?
Yeah, that was a weird glitch.
Did the black cat go by the mirror twice?
I don't know what just happened. The simulation is glitching again.
Wait, you have seen the Matrix?
No.
You haven't seen the Matrix. The Matrix might be a fun one to do for
I
movie
don't know.
club.
The trench coats are really weird.
Trench coats is the weird part about that movie for
Yeah.
Okay, now we definitely have to watch it because watching it with your commentary is going to be the funniest thing ever. You know how what we originally tried to do for Misfits, where we were really like trying to do through your eyes, like your compact version of it.
I'm going to offend a lot of people.
But listen, they paid to hear your opinion. How much could you possibly offend them? They literally, it's like being mad at a comic for paying to go to see their show.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like
it's like getting mad at Pete Davidson when he makes fun of his dead dad for dying in 9/11, and you're like, well, it's offensive.
Like, oh man. Anyway, we should bring that back. I think that would be really funny because the Matrix. I think we should watch it like drunk.
I don't think I could watch it seriously.
Belligerent. No, we should make fun of I'm really excited for the future of this show, guys. While searching the lake bed for any remaining water, Lancelot says,
Mr. Lafayette, hard rock like Lancelot.
I'm not going to stop doing that. God in his mercy lend her grace. That is directly...
He just said that casually?
Yes, apparently. He's searching for any water in the lake bed. I'm assuming Lake Nostos is now dried up. And he's looking, right?
Yep.
It's from the ending stanza of Alfred Tennyson's Victorian ballad, The Lady of Shalott. I would like to point out right now that is a Victorian ballad. Therefore, we are not weird for placing, even though these things happen in the current timeline,
the Renaissance,
that that Victorian influence on it is on purpose. Just want to point that out. But Lancelot mused a little space.
Mr. Lafayette, hard rock like Lancelot.
He said, she has a lovely face. God in his mercy lend her grace, the Lady of Shalott. That is the end stanza. Oh, sorry, that's the full stanza of the ballad, The Lady of Shalott. So I like that they just lifted that out of a Tennyson writing and then put it directly in his mouth. That's kind of cool. One of the things I mean, if it's Jane or not, or if it's maybe just Jane did it because she liked it and then the writer's room picked that up and everybody started doing it. I really
Hold on, let me just text her.
Oh yeah, we should just find out. Okay, side note, it's really funny that you say that because I continue to reference The Next Conversation, which is a Star Trek podcast that I listen to. They're both guys who do that podcast are TV writers. They write for the Goldbergs. They're the executive producer and lead writer for the Goldbergs. So they're all over the TV writing world, and they also met a lot of actors and actresses and stuff through Comic-Cons and conventions, and their writing and whatever. Well, one of the guys, the kind of, I hate saying this, but like the fun one of the group, like there's one who's like a little bit stuffy, and that's why that dynamic is funny. But the like kind of casual, laissez-faire one, he is like best friends with the guy who plays Riker, William Frakes. So they actually started a segment on the show with his permission called Ask Frakes, where they call him up and do a video call with him and just ask him random shit about a show, an episode he did 35 years ago. Like, hey, how did this work? And he is such a good sport about it, loves doing it, is like super bubbly about it, and truly tries his best to like give some more context. But sometimes he'd be like, yeah, just call up Frakes and just see if he remembers whether or not this was a thing, because we're just like,
that's gonna be us and Jane one day.
Yeah, so every time you do that, I'm like, Ask Frakes is real, but like we didn't like work with her. We're just like random two people.
No, we're just friends.
Listen, people in podcasts do it all the time. But I do like the fact that this show brings a little bit of literary flair. I don't know anything about Alfred Tennyson. I know he's a writer. That's about all my knowledge. Yeah. We didn't even know.
We just learned what Da Vinci just did, okay?
Da Vinci. We didn't even know what Da Vinci did. So we're dumb as hell. But like the fact that this is the same thing I like about The West Wing. Like,
but now we can learn about it and we can sound so smart when we tell someone now. Oh my gosh, do you know that they reference? Did you know this? I can't even say the name that you just fucking said.
Tennyson writing. Did you know this?
Oh my god, I know this.
God, wait till you guys listen to our Hamilton episode that we haven't recorded yet, because it's gonna sound like that. I don't know if you know, but This came from Big
Okay,
Smalls.
I actually do know a lot about Hamilton.
Well, yeah, and tell me that a lot of that wasn't because we did hardcore research after we watched it the first time and went, I want to know everything there is to know about the history of this character
like,
and this story.
did you like know that Martha Washington named her feral tomcat after Alexander Hamilton?
And
did
as
you
a
know
nod to
that?
the audience, Lin-Manuel winks at the audience and goes, "That's true," during the scene, and it actually is true.
I'm just saying,
just something. This is
a little bit of a
tidbit I
spoiler
know.
there.
Just a little factoid I have floating around my brain. We're the dumbest alive. I'm giving us a round of applause because our dumbness makes this show fun as hell. Damn it. Let's go on.
Let's go.
All I was saying is I really like that there's literary stuff in here because, much like The West Wing and much of Aaron Sorkin's writing, I feel really stupid, and Aaron Sorkin has a way of not leaving you behind and making you feel smart like him, like without being pretentious, right? Without being like, well, you should know this. It brings you into the world and you feel like you could speak intelligently on what this character just said because of the way that he phrases it and puts it in their mouth that you pick up on things, right? Like I watched The West Wing and I was like, oh, I could work in the White House for sure. Like I get it, you know, like he makes
like
you
Marissa
feel.
the other day. Somebody said something about NASA the other day. Marissa goes, yeah, I was just like casually looking up like NASA linguistic jobs
That's right.
on Indeed. And I was just like,
can you do that?
Yeah. And she goes, yeah, you know, like just and I was like, yeah, just throw your application in. Throw a resume.
I mean, why
there.
not? That's not all that. They're regular people.
What are they gonna say?
Yeah. No, it's true. Like I like feeling more educated when especially for entertainment that's supposed to just be like for funsies, you know, I'm like, oh, this is Victorian Belle. This is Lancelot. It's from, you know, books, whatever. Speaking of which, we have some reused props. The prop used for, take a guess. What's our most reused prop in the whole show?
Oh, the wishing well.
The well outside of Ruth's cottage. It's the same prop that we used for the Storybrooke wishing well. And then they went on to list a long, like paragraph after paragraph after paragraph, all the other places the well was. I'm not going to repeat it because we've said it
right now.
We've said it like a million times, but it's anytime basically that you see a well, assume it is the same well. Like I want to name
well. They only had budget for one well,
and they just redress it, put snow, make it change a color, whatever, make it deeper, make it. I want to name this well so we could be like, yo, Freddy the Well is in this episode again. Like, I want to credit this well because it's just every single time. This well did work. That's all I'm saying.
Leonard did a fantastic job.
Leonard? Oh my God, this well feels like a Leonard. Is it a Leonard to you?
I feel like it gives me a Leonard vibe.
Ladies and gentlemen, Leonard the Well. Or is it Well, Leonard? I think Leonard the Well has a good ring to it.
No, Leonard the Well.
Leonard the Well is in this episode. Reused prop. After Snow White is poisoned by King George. Oh my God, spoiler. I hate when they do that. Oh, this is a goof. After Snow White is poisoned by King George, she is disposed of on the side of the road. This is probably like the last thing that happens.
Oh my gosh. Bring out your dad.
At the shot from her backside as she falls from the impact of being thrown, the upper right back part of her clothing is barely smudged with a light imprint of dirt. That means it's a take one. The camera angle switches to the front and then to the back again to show the upper right back of her clothing is now deeply coated in a heavier amount of dirt. That was take 32. That is exactly how that works. You have to do it over and over and over again for coverage. And sometimes when the editor looks at the performance or looks at the reactions or something,
whichever is better.
It just so happens that if that's the right magic moment, they just go, no one's going to look at this. Like, who cares about that, really? But we know. We care. So let's see if we can find that goof. I'm going to go through the motions. I'm going to read the intro to our next segment since it has an intro now. Ladies and gentlemen, the show creators of Once Upon a Time, prior to their work on Once Upon a Time, Edward Kitsis and Adam Horowitz served as writers and executive producers on ABC's Lost. Once Upon a Time is riddled with Easter eggs and references to the show creators' old show. And this episode has absolutely zero references to the show creators' old show. Zero references whatsoever. I did, and YouTube also did see your Harper Jane interlude while I was introducing a non-segment, and it was beautiful.
So sorry.
It was beautiful. yeah, there are no references to Lost in this particular episode. In fact, none in this one and none in the next one. And I think this is the first time that we have 2 episodes in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so, actually.
Did we have 2 in season 1?
We had like 3 in season 1 in a row.
Let's see. Oh yeah, because there were only 19 in season 1 and there were 22 episodes. 23 episodes? 22 episodes, I think. So
there was like 2 or 3 episodes in a row where we had 0 Lost references.
Yeah, so there's 3 episodes that are missing somewhere in there. Let's see what it is for season 2. Oh my God. Season 2, according to this, has 15 episodes that have Lost references. And I'm searching to the end. Season 2, also 22 episodes. That is wild. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means there's going to be 7 episodes that don't contain Lost in this.
That's crazy.
I hate that, but that's okay. It's okay. It's fine. It'll be okay. What's in the Hatch is the name of our segment where we there's nothing in the hatch. That's why we talk about our Lost. The hatch is empty today, which is actually kind of a nice thing that we named it that, because it ends up being that the hatch is a physical thing that has something in it, and it doesn't. So now is the time where we will start to watch the episode. We'll have our little watch party. We do have some features to this part of our podcast experience. We have a drinking game that we play. That is the drinking game Bell. The drinking game is very loose rules. And we make up and change every time for every episode. But if you hear the bell, then that is the signal to drink a beverage of your choice, whether it be adult or not. We have even had Cheez-Its fill in for the drinking one episode, I think, last season.
It does not matter.
It doesn't matter. Just put something in your mouth. And keep it a family
I almost said
show.
that and I stopped myself.
Well, I did it. So
but
here we are.
You said it anyway.
Can't take it back. We also have a drink clink. Here's a little cheers. So anytime we have a reference to, something in the production notes or something that we talked about earlier, a little reference that's kind of a little less than a drink. Like, you don't have to actually, you can drink if you want, but it's just like a nod. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, that thing. We also have a fun feature. If you happen to, we've since learned, since last season, that people are starting to catch on to the fact that we might kind of spoil some stuff, like not major spoilers, but like production notes kind of sometimes spoil some events in it or don't make sense, that people are watching beforehand and then watching with us the second time, which is how I like to do it. But if you happen to be watching alongside with us and you, Harper's having a good old time back there.
It's time for bed. We gotta get her.
I get it. If you happen to be watching the show with us, then
she's just dancing and singing right now. It's so cute.
I love this. I love that she has the same chaotic energy that we have on the show. Like, it just completely matches. It's my favorite. It really is honestly my favorite. So that sound is the sound of according to my computer, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego playing again? But that is the sound of the episode starting and stopping. So when I hit that button, you hear that sound. That means that if you would like to pause along with us, you can. But if you're not watching the show, then that won't mean anything to you. We also have one of our veteran friends. I would say a familiar voice, a familiar friend, in fact.
Oh, the most familiar.
He is so
of voices.
Like, he's so familiar, you will definitely recognize this familiar
like when
tone.
you hear the word familiar,
like, who do I think of? This is the guy.
Like, this is
the
so
voice.
Familiar.
This is the tone. Listen to this familiar voice.
Yeah, it's rewind time.
Oh my God. Will
it's
Smith?
So familiar.
Will
that
Smith? Is that the one and only
Smith.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Friend of the show?
Familiar voice of the show, Storybrooke Circus.
He's just sitting next to me, and when I hit the record scratch button, do you want to say hi again, Will?
Yeah, it's rewind time.
That's all he says. He's got a contract. That's the only, if he says anything more than that on the show, then we'll have to pay him more money. So,
yeah. So if you missed that was our familiar friend and voice, Will Smith. Letting us know that we're gonna go back because we talked over somebody, probably something important, usually, as we always do.
It's funny because we say, well, in case we need to investigate something, it's usually because our dumbasses are talking over some important stuff and we have to go back and listen to it again. But you're probably here because you like hearing us talk too much, so let's be honest. And last but not least, here is the mega ultra drink moment. This is the chug. Every drinking game has a chug.
Chug in the night.
So this is the chug. We have to listen for the reference to the episode title. In this case, the official reference is listed. I intentionally also don't bring over who says the line. So I guess
yes, because we like to find out.
Well, we made one time I did it and didn't realize that it wasn't obvious, and then we tried to make guesses and we were all horribly wrong.
So wrong.
Which made it fun and made me want to do it again. So this is the line: "The siren who lived here, I killed her. That's why the lake is dry." This is a little more obvious.
Oh, okay. Well, it's charming.
So this one has to be charming. Unless it's not. Ooh, I don't know. Whatever. So the siren who lived here, I killed her. That's why the lake is dry. That will be our big chug moment. The reference to the lady of the lake that we are talking about. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. And now we watch.
Let's watch the show.
Let's watch the show. Season 2, episode 3, Lady of the Lake.